Hey SnapFlash fam, things are heating up in the policy arena. Botswana's draft National Development Plan 12, meant to guide the country's development from 2025 to 2030, has just come under fire from the Botswana Congress Party Youth League. And trust me, they're not holding back. They're calling it a plan for the elite by the elite, saying it risks locking out young people from Botswana's economic future. But the Youth Minister, Lesego Chombo, insists the plan is inclusive and forward-looking. So who's right? Let's unpack it. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, like, and tap the bell. SnapFlash brings you the stories behind the headlines. The Youth League dropped a fiery paper titled NDP 12 and the Future of Botswana's Youth. Their main gripe? That the government's so-called development plan is little more than political poetry, big on vision, short on action. With youth unemployment at a staggering 38.2%, the League argues that NDP 12 ignores real, measurable solutions. They want youth job quotas, land allocation, and a say in the National Planning Commission, not vague promises. They list 5 failures. No youth employment strategy, no land policy, no industrialization plan, no education to employment pathway, and 0 youth representation in national planning. Their conclusion? A generation forgotten. Their counterproposal? Bold moves. A 40% youth labor quota, a 2 billion Pula Youth Industrialisation Fund, and 30% of serviced land reserved for youth. They're calling this a youth ultimatum, warning that if their demands aren't met, they'll mobilize the youth vote against NDP 12. The timing of the Youth League's rebuke came just as Minister of Youth and Gender Affairs Lesego Chombo took to social media to celebrate President Duma Boko's first anniversary in office, a gesture that has drawn mixed reactions. Posting a photo and video of a youth-made painting presented to the president, Chombo wrote, "Happy inaugural anniversary to our president, Advocate Duma Gideon Boko. I had the honor of presenting a collective gift from the youth of Botswana, a painting reflecting our shared hopes, capabilities, and commitment to building a Botswana where every young person can dream, thrive, and lead." Critics say the post epitomizes a growing disconnect between the youth ministry and the country's unemployed youth, accusing the minister of photo-op politics, while the real issues remain unaddressed. Meanwhile, Minister Lesego Chombo is defending the plan, saying it's inclusive and forward-looking, and addresses youth employment, gender equity, and mental health.
The true north for the sector is to create an inclusive environment where women, men, and young people of Botswana are active participants and beneficiaries in socio-economic, cultural, and political development. In that regard, the youth and gender sectors have proposed strategies under the 12th National Development Plan aimed at addressing challenges as stated earlier, and these strategies aim to recognize that citizenry is not homogeneous, requiring specific measures to address differing needs. In order to address the issue of unemployment, Madam Speaker, government intends to develop an employment strategy for special groups, being youth, women, and persons living with disability, to facilitate a seamless transition for individuals moving from education and training into sustainable employment. There will be upskilling and character building, amongst others. Madam Speaker, the introduction of a Youth Development Act, which will establish the Youth Commission as well as strengthen the Botswana National Youth Council, amongst others. This is aimed at improving coordination and adequately addressing issues that affect young people. In order to advance youth empowerment, it is important to, amongst others, expand state-of-the-art facilities for art, sport, culture, digital skills and innovation, wellness and mental health services, entrepreneurship, digital skills and innovation, while linking youth to financing schemes and ICT-based opportunities. There will be close collaboration between the Ministry of Youth and Gender Affairs, the Ministry of Sport and Arts, as well as the Ministry of Communications and Innovation in availing these youth-friendly facilities. In terms of programming for the Youth Development Fund is currently being reviewed and remodeled to address key issues that have constrained its impact over the years. These issues include analog systems, inadequate post-funding support, and weak monitoring and evaluation mechanisms. The remodeled Youth Development Fund seeks to introduce a more robust framework, emphasizing capacity building prior to funding, enhanced business incubation and mentorship, and structured linkages with markets and value chains. It will also strengthen the partnership framework, Madam Speaker, with private sector and development partners to leverage on co-financing, technology transfer, as well as enterprise acceleration. The intended results are increased sustainability in youth enterprises, improved repayment and reinvestment rates, job creation, and greater contribution of youth businesses to national productivity and diversification goals. In addition, Madam Speaker, the Botswana National Service Program, BNSP, is being revamped to transform it into a more coordinated and impactful national platform for youth empowerment. The new model will emphasize skills development, civic engagement, and transition pathways into employment or entrepreneurship. Our participants will gain training that allows them to later transition into structured opportunities through linkages with both public and private sector partners. Through this reform, the Botswana National Service Program will serve as a bridge between education and employment to reduce youth unemployment and foster a deeper sense of patriotism, discipline, and social responsibility. Madam Speaker, the sector will introduce the National Youth Volunteer Movement, and this is designed to cultivate a spirit of service, patriotism, and active citizenship amongst young people. Through structured placement in community projects, development partner projects, and public initiatives, the movement will serve as a pathway to employability, civic responsibility, and social cohesion, particularly addressing the challenge of inactivity amongst out-of-school and unemployed youth. It will indeed as well benefit young people who are employed and in school. Further, the National Mentorship Program will be introduced and aims to bridge the gap between young people and experienced professionals, entrepreneurs, and leaders across sectors. It will create a structured platform for skills transfer, career guidance, personal development, and entrepreneurial growth, and it will pair emerging youth leaders and innovators with mentors who can guide them towards sustainable livelihood pathways. Collectively, Madam Speaker, these initiatives reflect our government's commitment to creating holistic pathways for youth empowerment, ensuring that young people, young Botswana, are equipped, supported, and inspired to become active agents of national transformation in line with Vision 2036 and this National Development Plan.
But critics say her optimism feels tone-deaf, especially after she posted a celebratory photo marking President Duma Boko's first anniversary, while thousands of young Botswana remain jobless. So here's the question. Is NDP 12 a roadmap for a fairer future or a political script written for the elite? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to keep the conversation going. Botswana's youth make up over 60% of the population, and they're done watching from the sidelines. Whether NDP 12 becomes a turning point or another missed opportunity depends on one thing: if those in power are finally ready to listen.